All right, we're back at it again. So I have La La Land. I have not watched it lately. I still think it's a pretty solid musical. It looks amazing. I think I prefer Whiplash. So everyone knows the whole 1980s craze after, and it exploded after Stranger Things. So getting a movie like it was a nice thing to come out of it. So this is a really good adaptation of Stephen King's story. The original, which I own, is not that good. I'm sorry. Even Tim Curry, it's not that great. It's held back by being a TV movie, first of all. Bill Skarsgård is really good as Pennywise. I didn't like Chapter 2 as much as Chapter 1. I think most people can agree with that. This is the best one. This is really good. Watch it if you really like the It story or you like Stephen King. Every time I talk about a Quentin Tarantino movie, most of the time I'm just going to assume that you've either watched it or you've decided not to watch it, or for whatever reason. So I'm just going to... Yeah. Fun fact, E.T. came out on the same weekend as The Thing, and most people decided to go see E.T. instead of The Thing, which led to it bombing. It makes sense. E.T. is a good film. I think The Thing is a better film. It might be a controversial opinion, but there's some points in E.T. that are a little boring. It's kind of hard to say that because I like E.T. and I like the way it's shot. Steven Spielberg directed the hell out of this. This is a really cool Blu-ray box set too. It has like a little booklet inside. This is good. I haven't seen Empire Records yet. I picked this up at Target for like $5, or even it might have picked it up for like $3, but I still haven't gotten around to it yet. So at some point I will. Just talked about Spielberg, and before all that, before Jaws, all that stuff, he made a truck movie called Duel. This is, in my opinion, the greatest TV movie ever made, so much so that they put it in theaters. They even had Spielberg shoot extra footage so that it could be put into theaters. And then we got a Blu-ray release, just like Falling Down, which was also a TV movie. This is an excellent film. It's shot really well on a really low budget. It's such a simple premise done expertly. And I see why Steven got the jobs he did, especially at a young age. So this is a good Blu-ray too. It looks really clean. So I kind of saw the Broly movie. I pretty much did. I got to sit in to a screening of it when I worked at a movie theater. And the animation is awesome. It's really cool. There are quite a few original DBZ movies that are not technically canon, but were made canon later. Some of them were, some of them weren't. Fusion Reborn and Wrath of the Dragon. These are really good DBZ movies. We'll talk about the bad ones in a second, but I highly recommend these if you like DBZ. Fusion Reborn is the best, in my opinion, the best one. So the original Broly trilogy, I have a weird thing. I really like the first one. Atmospherically, it's really cool, and them fighting Broly and that really like that cityscape is something that I've always like imagined DBZ was supposed to be, because I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was a kid. Second Coming and Bio Broly are pretty bad. Bio Broly especially is terrible. I like raunchy comedies. I like comedies that have a little bit of an edge to it, And Goon is one of those perfect ones. It's so funny. I got into hockey a few years ago because I started going to Ducks games while I was living in LA, and I watched Goon for the first time around that time, and I laughed my ass off. In my opinion, there are two types of people. People who like The Sandlot and people who like The Goonies. I'm more of a Sandlot guy, but that doesn't mean you can't like The Goonies too. Goonies is good. It's not perfect though. There's some stuff in here that is just kind of doesn't really jive with me anymore. Pacing's a little weird. It's really 80s, but it's Goonies. Ooh, we're getting into some Godzilla shit now. Tokyo SOS and Final Wars. Now, so in my opinion, and this is my brother's opinion as well. The series in Millennium, starting with Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, which we'll get to at some point, actually next, is it's my favorite Millennium Godzilla film, and Tokyo SOS is a good follow-up. Final Wars, it's fine. It's just it's a world tour. It's celebrating Godzilla. That's really what it is. But Tokyo SOS and Against Mechagodzilla really cover the mythos of Godzilla well, and it kind of ends it because it's supposed to be like a continuation from the first one in '54. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla is really good. Watch that one if you haven't seen it. It's like Power Rangers meets Godzilla, but cooler, because this is my favorite version of Mechagodzilla. Giant Monsters All Out Attack I have not seen in a while. The thing about me and Godzilla is that most of these movies kind of meld together in my brain because I watched a lot of them when I was a kid, back when you would get Netflix through the mail. G.I. Joe the movie, the original show is pretty entertaining, and there's some really funny stuff in there. This is weird. Yeah, it's weird. I say the Transformers the movie is superior. This one is interesting. It's strange. I won't spoil anything if you haven't seen it, because I don't think a lot of people have, but people are mostly aware of it. Yeah, if you like G.I. Joe, give it a shot. It's better than watching those really bad live action ones. Well, here he goes again, going against his whole rule about not covering TV. He uses Game of Thrones season 2, which is still really good. I liked Game of Thrones once. At some point, we're going to cover most of the Friday the 13th movies I own, and one of them is the latest one, 2009. This is the Killer Cut, so it has more nudity in it and more kills. And this one has the best version of Jason, in my opinion. It's not the best movie in the franchise. It might actually be one of the worst, but the Jason in this is really, really cool. He's like a mountain man who throws axes at people, so that's pretty sick. He lives in tunnels, and that's how he can teleport everywhere. It's a good explanation for his character. I just wish that his character in this movie was in a better movie. I haven't seen 22 Jump Street. Saw the first one, I think. I watched it at some point. I got this Blu-ray, I think, for free. I think someone gave it to me. Hey, more DBZ movies. Super Android 13 and BoJack Unbound. I like BoJack Unbound. Super Android 13 was funny. It's like the android villain is like a trucker with a trucker hat. It's not my favorite pack. I think the Fusion Reborn and Wrath of the Dragon is still the best ones. But not as bad as the Broly sequels. I'll give you that. One of these movies is really cool, and it's actually the first time I have ever watched anything DBZ. And the second thing is an unnecessary sequel. And that's Cooler's Revenge and Revenge of Cooler. Cooler's Revenge is really cool. Because it's Frieza's brother, trying to, take revenge for them killing his brother, even though he doesn't care about his brother. But it was the first thing I saw of DBZ as a kid, because I happened upon it on TV. Then Return of Cooler is unnecessary. There's some cool visuals at the end. The final fight is really cool, but it's so unnecessary. It's ridiculous. Deadpool. Really good theater experience. Good Blu-ray. Finally, we have Dawn. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Great film. Really got me back into sci-fi. Back into apes films in general, because the Planet of the Apes films are really entertaining. And the new trilogy was really good. I don't own Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I should, on Blu-ray preferably, so I can complete my trilogy. But this is a really good follow-up, even on its own. It's you get more if you watched Rise, but this still gives you enough information to just enjoy it. I highly recommend this. And then once you're done with this, watch War for the Planet of the Apes. So I think an underrated director, Alexandre Aja, I think that's how you pronounce it. He did the remake of The Hills Have Eyes, which I particularly enjoy. And then he did Crawl, which is, it's so basic, but it's kind of like this, it's like a really good spec script turned into a really enjoyable movie. It's a crocodile monster movie. That's literally what it is. But it's really enjoyable. I think I like it a lot. Oh boy, The Conjuring. I love the Conjuring movies, at least the first two. I don't own the first one on Blu-ray, but I own the second one on Blu-ray. And I like the second one. I saw it in theaters and I really liked it. I think I prefer the first one, like most people, although the first one is overseen by people. Like usually when people bring up like, oh, let's watch a horror film, they're like, let's watch Conjuring, and they're like, I've seen Conjuring already. So sensationalized, just like the last one, but you know, what are you gonna do? I recently had gotten back into Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and watching those. And particularly, I wanted to rewatch Commando, and so I got it on Blu-ray for pretty cheap. And then I rewatched it. The Blu-ray transfer is excellent. The same guys who put together the Terminator and the Duel Blu-ray, so it's really, really crisp. It looks really, really good. And this is a really good movie that's underrated. It has all the best, in my opinion, it's one of the best, all the best one-liners, and the action is spectacular. I love the story. There's like maybe one or two parts in the middle that kind of like, you know, slow down the pacing, but besides that, it's just a really good action movie. It's probably one of the best out there. Ooh, Blade. I also own a regular DVD copy of Blade. This Blu-ray is pretty good. This movie is pretty good too. It was a lot of fun. It's like classic late 90s to early 2000s Marvel, like that weird cash grab days where when you think of like the early 2000s comic book movies, you're either thinking of the Spider-Man movies or you're thinking about X-Men. Maybe occasionally Fantastic Four, but that's besides the point. This is a good comic adaptation of Blade. So, second one I like too. I am usually a big normie when it comes to anime and manga, but I really like animation and I like comics. So this anime should be right up my alley usually, and manga too. And quite a few years ago, my brother and I had like marathon through Berserk, and then we got ourselves the Golden Age arc. This is different from the show. The show covers the Golden Age arc, whereas the movies, at least in the third one, I think, it covers more of the series than what we get in the original anime from the 90s. I want to say the movies are handled better every single installment. The third one's the best. I would recommend this if you really like Berserk. I wish that the sequel series, Berserk 2017, was like these. They did use like the CG techniques, but really badly, and it's kind of sad that there's no definitive Black Swordsman arc that's really, really good, because most people despise the version we're getting right now. So I hope they make movies out of them. Rest in peace, Mero. After watching Jarhead, which we'll get to, I wanted to watch more war movies that were like more modern, and the kind of war movies that take place usually around Africa or in the Middle East, because that's our whole thing, right? So I found Black Hawk Down on Blu-ray. It's a Ridley Scott picture. I have not watched it yet. I want to watch it soon. I'm surprised that I didn't watch it right after I finished watching Jarhead. Maybe I needed time to think about it. But this is I heard it's really good. I like Ewan McGregor, and he's in it too, so I'll probably watch it at some point. Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is a good animated movie. This is surprisingly good. It's one of the better Batman animated movies out there. All right, the final Blu-ray, and then we're gonna finally get to the DVDs. Hopefully I'll go through like the DVDs a lot faster and not talk about them too long, because I got a lot to go through. So Alien 3 on Blu-ray. This one includes the 2003 special edition. It was like the reconstructed cut or whatever. But it's much better than the original cut. The 3-hour version is way more fleshed out. Where the alien comes from is a lot different. I would prefer, if you were to watch the third one, I would prefer that you'd watch the 2003 special edition instead of the theatrical, just because the theatrical is the disappointing one that didn't really sit well with anybody. If you know the twist, then you know what I'm talking about. But the extended cut's way better. Still really long, still suffers some pacing issues, but I think it's worth a watch. All right, that's it for my Blu-rays. Now we got DVDs to cover. So I think the DVDs might be their own video. I didn't think they were going to be their own video, but then again, I'm surrounded by DVDs. So, we'll see you then.